Welcome back to Hannity. Now, we've been questioning on this program if there are deep state, Obama holdover operatives trying to delegitimize the commander-in-chief. Now, we're not going to stop asking questions. And joining us now with reaction, author of the New York Times bestseller Treason, former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich. So, you know John Solomon. You've known him for years, AP, Washington Times, Sarah Carter. You know, a legitimate reporter. They're saying not only that was a FISA court warrant approved, now they think a second warrant was approved. In spite of the investigation, zero proof of any collusion between Trump and the Russians. This has been the media narrative now going on, what, 6, 7 months at this point?
Sure.
What is your response?
Well, I think, first of all, it's very likely that the deep state, the professional bureaucrats, the people who run the government on a day-to-day basis, did do things that were very opposed to Donald Trump. And the fact is that he was overwhelmingly opposed by the civil service. I think it's also likely that there was a covering up, no, this is probably the wrong word, but that they were willing to be sloppy and to be more aggressive. I mean, the whole thing that was done to General Flynn was totally outrageous, violates every civil libertarian in the country, involved the leaking, which is a felony, the leaking of secret information, which was done in such a way as to hurt an American citizen, even though when you looked at it in detail, it had no meaning. It didn't matter. By the way, you'll notice that the Washington Post and the New York Times, in their continuing war on the Trump administration, went way out of their way to try to smear and destroy Attorney General Sessions. Again, very similar kind of pattern we're seeing, whether it's in leaking or it is in wiretapping or it is in a variety of other collusions between the deep state bureaucracy and the deep state media.
They're reporting that not only was a FISA warrant issued, but another warrant was issued. And the FISA warrant was for servers for the Trump, I guess, monopoly. So this is in the weeks leading up to a campaign in a presidential election. You know, there's no telling what's on those servers. And I know that from my own interactions with people in the campaign, they were using Trump Organization email addresses.
Well, look, I think it's very clear that the House and Senate Intelligence Committees have to get deeply involved in this, and it may well be that the House and Senate Judiciary Committees, on behalf of our civil liberties, also have to get involved. But there's no question that the Congress has to get to the bottom of this. And again, I want to emphasize, a number of people have been committing felonies. They have been deliberately leaking secrets in a way which is illegal and which is dangerous to the United States, and it is a real problem.
Well, Obama expanded Executive Order 12333 to allow the sharing of this very highly, deeply top-secret intelligence, signet communications in the case of General Flynn, to be shared with 16 other agencies. He did it on his final 2 weeks out of the campaign. How important is Obama's role in this? He made the statement that we had no role in ordering this. But did he know about it? How important is that in question?
Well, how can he say he had no role in ordering it if it was in fact a presidential directive, because it affects all 17 agencies?
Well, that part he did, but he had no role in seeking a FISA warrant. No, it wasn't ordered from the White House. And my question is...
Well, but let's go back to what he does clearly have a role in. You know, if you read carefully what it says, they didn't just say you can share secrets. They said you can share information which you don't even believe is true.
The dossier.
So you have all these rumors, all this gossip, which goes from NSA to 16 other agencies, one of whom leaks it to the New York Times, the Washington Post. Then it becomes a story. Now, it's a total lie at this point. Then it becomes a story. Then other TV channels pick it up and run with it for 3 straight days.
Do you remember the day that story about the dossier broke, BuzzFeed and CNN's hysterical, breathless coverage of this, as though this was the smoking gun? Well, they also say, Sarah Carter and John Solomon, they also say that they found no evidence even though they had the 2 warrants. None whatsoever.
None.
Not one smidgen of evidence that backs up the claims by the media that they've been saying.
And you know, the former director of national intelligence, General Clapper, has said publicly, unequivocally, that in all the things he looked at, in all the reports he saw, there is zero evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians, which would make you wonder, why is this still an issue, except, of course, that the Democrats and the New York Times and Washington Post are desperate to do anything to slow down Donald Trump.
We got to take a break. More with Newt Gingrich right after